Hey yo, what it do? It's your boy Youll, and you guys are just in time for something new. WTBD, hey, what that brush do? Man, I appreciate you guys for checking out this video. In this video, what I'm going to be talking about today is how to use a hard brush. First, before I jump this video off, I want to give a special shout out once again the 360 wave process, you know what I'm saying? Now that I'm wearing it, what I can say is I really like the material that this shirt is made out of. The paint and everything like that. That may be one of the issues that I may have with the shirt, so I'm going to make sure I wash it by hand just to avoid any of the paint rubbing off, you know? But yeah, I know y'all didn't click on the video for that, so let's get into this. Alright, so if you don't have one of these brushes, it's okay. It is perfectly fine, and it is okay if you don't have a Diane 8159 Taiwan OG edition hard brush. It's okay, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, this video will help teach you how to use any kind of hard brush to your advantage. The reason why I want us to make this video is because a lot of people really don't know how to use a hard brush. And when you're a novice in the wave game, you know what I'm saying, and somebody tells you brush your hair, and then you get a hard brush, and then you think you have to brush super hard or super fast or whatever the case is, and you start messing your scalp up, and you start wondering why you can't really make progress is because your scalp is all messed up and everything like that. Well, you guys found this video just in time. So just to jumpstart this off, you're gonna need a hard brush. You're also gonna need a mirror. The reason why you'll need a mirror is because if you want to get better waves, brushing just any kind of way will not help you get there. As of right now, I am 10 weeks woofing. Tomorrow I will cut my hair. Figured I'd make this video while my hair is thick because I typically prefer using hard brushes when my hair is thick. You don't really want to use a hard brush when your hair is low because it can damage your scalp. So let's get straight into it. Alright, so the first question you want to ask yourself is
my hair thick enough to where I can use a hard brush the normal way I use any kind of brush?
The reason why I say that is because my hair is at a point now to where it's very thick to where this hard brush, I can put this against my scalp and brush as hard as possible, and it won't damage my scalp simply because my hair is thick enough. So that's something that you have to answer. You have to know your texture, you have to know how thick your hair is, you have to know your hair type and everything like that, and you have to be able to determine the amount of pressure that you want to use on a brush. Now most people think it doesn't matter, all that matters is just brushing your hair. That's a lie, you know what I'm saying? Whenever you brush your hair, you want to be able to apply as much pressure from the brush onto your hair so where it gets down to your scalp. The first tip that I'll give you guys when using a hard brush, you do not want to brush fast with a hard brush. As a beginner or as somebody that's even in between or whatever the case is, especially with a hard brush, what you want to do is take your time. You know what I'm saying? You want to brush very slowly. Even if you apply a lot of pressure on a low cut with a hard brush, what you will notice is it won't really hurt your scalp as much if you brush slowly, you know, but you'll still get the same benefit because the bristles, the hard bristles, are able to disturb your scalp and help your scalp produce blood flow, which will then create the natural oils, aka sebum. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you want with a hard brush. If you brush fast with it, that's what can cause the damage to your scalp because it's like a scratching. It's like if you have an itch and you try to you scratch your skin real fast, you basically damage your skin with your fingernails or whatever the case is. But if you have that same itch and you go very slow, it won't cause as much damage. That's the same thing with a hard brush. So you always want to start off slow with a hard brush, apply even pressure. You know what I'm saying? You can either start off in the back and go very slow and brush all the way to the front, or if you want to just break out your angles and have shorter brush strokes, you can do that as well. I personally recommend just taking your time and just starting off in the back and just brushing very slow, especially if you want to maintain your angles. But yeah, so the next thing when it comes to a hard brush is the amount of time that you want to use it. For me personally, I don't use a hard brush longer than 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? The reason why is because if you're using a hard brush for longer than 5 minutes, most likely you're not using it right. You only need a hard brush for 5 minutes mainly because you have 5 sections of your waves that you want to brush. You know, so for 1 minute, I'll brush my right side. For another minute, I'll brush my top. You know what I'm saying? For the 3rd minute, I'll brush my left side. For the 4th minute, I'll brush my back. And then for the last minute, I'll brush my crown. By doing that, if you're using the brush right with even pressure and going very slow, it will allow your scalp to do what it needs to do to create the natural oil that you need, you know? So me personally, I recommend not using the hard brush longer than 5 minutes. Now, if you are a person that counts strokes or repetitions, you know what I'm saying? Like something like when I first started off, when I had 360 waves, I would count 100 strokes on each side, you know? Then I would be like, you know what, with a hard brush, I'm gonna only brush for 30 strokes. So I'm gonna only brush my left side with 30 strokes and then brush this other 70 strokes with a medium or a soft brush, you know what I'm saying? But that's only if you count your brush strokes. It's not really necessary, but that's one thing that you want to keep in mind is with a hard brush, you really don't have to brush very long with it to be able to see the benefit of it. You can get away with 10 depending on how slow you brush your hair, but always keep the time short. So the next thing is, can I use a hard brush in the shower? One of the reasons why I don't encourage people to use a hard brush in the shower simply because your hair is softer from the water, and also because your pores are open from the heat or from the shower or whatever the case is, you know what I'm saying? So when your hair is wet, I personally don't recommend using a hard brush unless you know that your hair is very thick and can handle it. As a medium texture waver, I can't benefit from it, but as a coarse hair waver, you may be able to do that, you know what I'm saying? So that's something to keep in mind. Now the last thing I want to say is with a hard brush, so what I'll do is I'll start off with a scalp massage. I'll scalp massage my whole head with some oils, and then I will get into my hard brush session, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, if you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comment section below. But it's your boy J. Lou. I appreciate you guys for watching this video. Right here is a video that I did. It's my most recent video. I hope you guys enjoy it. And then right here is a video that I recommended for you guys based off of what I feel will be best beneficial for you. End of the day, it's all about making progress. It's all about getting those waves. Salute.